but everyone always wants me to taste my food.
Yeah, we have to have end results.
That's my favorite part of your show. I can tell if it's a good recipe because
Yeah.
if you get 2 hand circles, it's really good. If you just get a half a hand circle or a quarter of a circle, it's like, I would probably, and then you start talking about how you're going to change it.
Yeah.
Yes. Meaning it's still good, but I just want to.
Yeah, but when you go,
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Hey, hi, I'm Amy Roloff, and I'm in my little kitchen. So it is getting into fall, our kind of winter season, and finally here in Oregon, we are getting fall weather. But I'm also doing a Cooking with Amy segment right now with a few of you that have subscribed and have sent in your email and stuff. So we put a message out there, and people who want to cook with me or just watch me cook, whatever you want to do, we pick a few names. And so I'm getting ready to do a Zoom, Cooking with Amy Zoom, with some of our subscribers or email messages that we have. And so I'm starting off with like easier recipes because I could totally get involved. But when it's a Zoom call, you know, if it's too complicated, then it takes, no one has 4 hours.
Right.
So we usually try and keep it to maybe about 2 hours, an hour and a half. So if you want to cook with me, when we put a message out there on social media and maybe the website, just put your name in and I'll come up with a recipe or give me your ideas. And I'd love to cook a meal that's one of your favorites as well. So we're getting ready to do that, right?
Yes.
So
All
today we are cooking a kielbasa cabbage. Is that what I named it? Oh, kielbasa sausage. No.
Yes.
Oh, kielbasa sausage. Oh, I think I've got to change that name. I know, but kielbasa is
sausage.
like a sausage, but
Yeah.
it's like Polish sausage.
Right.
Okay, kielbasa sausage, white bean cabbage soup. So those are the 3 main ingredients, and plus all the other stuff.
All the other.
So anyway,
stuff.
we're gonna start in a few minutes. So anyway, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh, and I've got Lisa with me too. She's gonna kind of be my sous chef and keep me on track.
Yes,
and
keep you on track.
all that other stuff. Okay, Lauren. Is this Lauren?
Yeah, Lauren and Danielle.
Okay, hey, how you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Well, great to see you too. And Danielle, how old are you?
14.
14. Awesome, awesome. Well, hopefully we'll get a few questions from you, and I'd like to, you know, find out why you're with your mom and this mother-daughter relationship and cooking and all that other good stuff. So it looks like we also got Cynthia here. Awesome. How are you doing, Cynthia?
I'm doing good.
Awesome, awesome.
Organized. I got all my stuff laid out. I'm doing it with you, girl.
Oh, good. That's the other thing I wanted to ask, you know, because we try and communicate that people can either just watch me make it, or they can cook along with me, or they might have made it before and eat it while I'm doing it. Because the old, what is it? I don't know what I say. It's like, look at the video, but I always tell people, follow the recipe, because sometimes I've made this recipe before in all my recipes, but as I do the video, sometimes I'm thinking, oh man, I should tweak that. I should tweak that.
I'll add a little this. I'll add a
Yes.
little that.
And it doesn't necessarily change, you know, like completely change the recipe. But if people want exact, I'm like, go to the recipe, because sometimes when I'm doing the video, I'm winging it.
Yes.
Like for instance,
There
oh, I
you
know,
go.
see? I have mine too, so I don't forget what to tell y'all. I do not have these recipes memorized, believe me. There's too many of them, and I'm getting old. But I went ahead and cut up, oh no, it was the celery. Maybe I didn't cut up green pepper
Oh,
yet.
I'll
I
cut
thought
that
I
up
did.
for you. That's
No,
my
the
job.
recipe doesn't call for
Oh.
green pepper. But that's the whole thing. If you add green pepper instead of red pepper, that's fine. All of these red peppers are very similar. Green will have a different flavor than the red pepper, but it's not like you're going to totally destroy the recipe. So
You're
Anyway.
flexible.
yeah, flexible. So Lisa's going to help me cook this, but I want to ask you, Lauren and Danielle, are you making this along with me? Are you watching, or have you made it prior to here?
We're watching now. We have all of the stuff prepped. There was just a little technical difficulty in our kitchen, so we're in my office.
Oh,
But we
okay.
have everything ready to go for after. That's our dinner tonight, so we have it all ready.
Okay, very, very cool. This is a soup. Okay, soups to me aren't complicated unless you maybe use a cream base, because you don't want it too thick, you don't want it too runny. But I don't mind a cream based soup being a little more liquidy than too thick. And
Yeah.
so soup to me is, like vegetable soup or even chicken noodle soup. I mean, you can just have noodles, good broth. The hardest part to me is if you really want to make homemade broth, then you got to, boil your chicken or cook your chicken and
Lot
stuff
of
like
prep.
that. Get that broth and strain the chicken, shred the chicken, and all this other stuff. The easiest thing, like for that chicken soup, would be rotisserie chicken. But what I try and tell people, though, you got to remember, rotisserie chicken has a flavor to it. They have seasoned it.
Mhm.
So if you just want to start off with just chicken with a little salt and pepper, it's best just to use, make your own broth, or
That's
just
a
use,
good point.
or
That's
just-
a really good point.
yeah, or just use chicken breast and, cook it up, shred it, or whatever you want to do. So the whole point being is this soup, you can make it your own. I put in the little message thing. I grew up in Michigan, and even to this day, Detroit has a high population of the Polish community. Like, I don't know, what do you call it? Polish cultural, or,
Yeah.
whatever. I had neighbors. I had a very good friend who has a history of being from, relatives or whatever from Poland, and
Very
Polish
cool.
last name and all this other stuff. So, I mean, kielbasa, we had that all the time. We had cabbage all the time. And I was never a fan of stuffed cabbage, though. I have no idea why, but it's like, ew.
Yeah, the texture.
I never liked the Greek grape, the
Grape leaves.
yeah, grape leaves, that little thing.
Mhm, the
And
rushes.
I have no idea why. I just have no idea.
Hmm.
So anyway, the whole point being, again, this is soup. I don't think you can really make a mistake on it. A lot of people like a broth. I do too, but it depends on the kind of soup. A lot of soups, it's like, if I'm gonna have soup, can I have like stuff in it?
Yeah,
I
kinda
want
hearty.
like
Kind of a
a
hearty.
bite to it, things in it. So anyway, the thing that I often like doing, some people will just add their raw onions. No, not when it comes to soup. That's wrong. Usually people will saute their onions. Oh, you know what? This is what you can do. You can cut up some carrots.
Okay.
We only need 3. Look at this. I did way too many here. We're gonna try 3. And we're just gonna do
Okay.
kind of really a rough, oh, good night. Here.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I guess, man, I thought I was a little more prepared.
That's why I'm here.
I'll cut up the red pepper.
You want to know
So-
about
Pardon?
how thick?
Oh, yeah, no, perfect.
Quarter. And maybe Lauren and Danielle can say where they're from, and Cynthia too. Why don't we
Yes.
start with Lauren?
Sure, we're from the Hudson Valley in New York, a town called Poughkeepsie, or a city called Poughkeepsie. We're about 70 miles north of Manhattan,
Oh, wow, okay.
the Hudson River Valley, in New York.
Do you get to New York City much?
My husband and I are actually going to a show on Broadway this coming Saturday, so we like to go every once in a while.
What are you seeing?
We're seeing the MJ musical. It's all about Michael Jackson's life and his songs and everything.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
It'll be fun.
I tell you, whenever I have an opportunity to go to New York, which was not a lot, but back in the day when we were doing the show, we were on some of the talk shows and everything. And then when the pandemic hit and stuff like that,
Yeah.
we didn't go on.
Planning to go there.
Oh, we
remember?
were.
To get Amy's wedding dress.
But I always take the time to go see a Broadway play. I love the theater. I've told people this before. I would have loved to have been in the theater. Love it.
You've been good at it too.
Well, I don't know about that. I get petrified when I have to memorize lines because I'm so afraid that I didn't get exact, and you can't necessarily ad lib and all this other stuff. Well, good for you.
And then-
Cynthia,
yeah.
where are you from?
Let me unmute there.
Okay,
I'm-
yeah.
I'm a born and raised Cali girl, and a year and a half ago, my daughter moved the grandbabies to North Carolina. So my husband and I were not too far behind, and here we are. We've been here
Oh,
about a year, and we love it. We love the season. Like in California, it's 72 degrees year round, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
We
Well,
love
the thing is, you're still on the coast.
yes.
You're just
We're
on
on
the opposite.
one ocean for the other.
Yeah, yeah. So are you guys adjusting well? I mean,
We're finding community. We found a great church. We have a great neighborhood that we live in. The food here is amazing.
oh, wow.
Fish and fried.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Because you moved there for your daughter and your grandkids, do you only have one child?
Well, we have two. One's still in California. He's still schooling. He may be a professional student his whole life. I don't know. But the daughter's married and gave us the two grandbabies. So
Okay, great.
there
Well,
are
what are you gonna do if your son gets married and has kids, but he's still in California?
we still have a footprint in California, so we
Yeah.
can go back.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, it's a little bit of the stage that I'm at in the
Yeah.
sense that, well, both Lisa and I are, in the sense of I'm from Michigan. I would move back to Michigan in a minute. I always tell people I was never an adult. I left at 24. But I don't, because like all of my kids are in the Northwest. My daughters and her husband are in Spokane. All my grandkids, my Zach and his wife and kids live in Battleground, which is like 45 an hour away from us. My two boys, Jeremy and Jacob, their kids are all like 10 minutes from where I live. So it's like, I never wanted to be that far away. Because I chose to move to be far away. Now, when kids move, to me, it's like, well, you got to do what you got to do, what's best for your family.
Yeah.
Right.
You're in that season of life. You got to go where the income or whatever your, decisions are. So anyway.
You're
Well, good.
such a great grandma. I mean, you were a great mom in the
Yeah.
kitchen for those
Yeah.
kids. I remember seeing you just being so doting, and all of the neighborhood was always there. And now as a grandma, I'm sure we don't get to see as much of that, but I'm sure you do the same thing. And that's what's so important about food. It just brings family together, you know?
Well, it's so funny because Zachary, don't worry, I'm getting to you guys there now. Zachary, and Lauren, sorry. Zachary stopped by because he bought his car, because he bought it before he moved to Washington. He bought his car, just not far from where I live. Well, he came down to get it tuned up and, all this other stuff. So he stops over and everything. And he says that I did it, but I could have sworn that he asked, well, Mom, like, what do you have? I'm like, oh, yeah. You want a coffee or anything? He goes, yeah. I think he said, well, I haven't had anything to eat. If that's not a way for your boy that asks you, oh, will you make me something?
Yes. That's
So of course I said, oh yeah, you want something to eat? I mean, I could make you an egg. So I made him like an egg sandwich and all that stuff. But the whole point being is, even as adults, as we get older, we have to shift and learn how to be parents to our adult children.
Yeah.
Because they're making choices, they're doing whatever, they feel like they need to do. But we can't pounce on them or say, you should do it this way. It's
You
like,
can't. do
I'm
that.
here for you. I'll encourage you. I'll support you. I'll give you my advice if you ask. But
Danielle's listening to that because she'll be grown up one of these days too. And then Lauren will go, I remember that talk with Amy.
Yeah. Danielle, how old are you? If you're 14. No, I meant grade. 14 would put you 8th grade? 9th?
Nice.
9th? Okay, great. How's school going?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you in high school yet? Or I sometimes can't
Yeah.
remember the different
Some have
schools.
junior highs
Yeah.
that go up to ninth grade, so.
Yeah, I'm in high school.
And how's that all going?
It's good. I like
Yeah.
it.
Okay, good, good. Because, you know, you never know. It's a big adjustment going from junior high to high school sometimes.
Yeah.
So why are you cooking or watching this with your mom?
Well, because we like watch the show together,
Oh.
and she told me that like she entered it and everything.
Yeah.
And she was like, if I get chosen, I would choose you. And I was like, oh.
Okay, great.
That
That's
was like cooking together too. So
Yeah.
that's like keeping it together and cooking together.
Okay, I was just gonna ask that, you know, do you like to cook or bake or do that with your mom, Danielle?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. Now, my next question for you guys, because you know, you still got a family. What do you like to cook? What is your family favorite meal?
Oh man, I like chili. She loves chili.
Okay, got it.
Hot chili. Yep.
Now,
Um,
what kind of chili? Beef, chicken?
Yeah, beef. We usually do the beef with the beans and like the red base sauce.
Yes,
For
yeah,
yeah.
okay,
Just
okay.
something good to put in the morning and let go all the way until we're ready to eat it, and make some
Absolutely.
cornbread muffins to go with it.
that,
Um,
cornbread.
Do you like it
that's-
spicy?
No, my
Yeah.
husband loves spice. The two of us aren't really into spicy.
I like a hint of spice, like I like some heat. I
Yeah.
don't like when they make food so spicy that your tongue
Ugh,
and your
Oh,
mouth
or your
gets so
lips,
hot that
your-
it's suddenly numb.
Like your lips.
Yes.
It's like, oh my gosh, I feel like they're gonna blister.
And
Yeah.
it's suddenly numbed your
Inflate your taste.
taste buds.
Yeah,
And you can't like really taste anything else.
yeah. That's
So-
what hot sauce is for. If people want it hot, they can just put hot sauce on it.
Yeah, well, that's what Chris does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle with Chris. In fact, I'm gonna ask Cynthia this. Since it's just you and your husband, I know you're living closer to your daughter and her, you know, your grandchild and her husband. Have you, I don't know how long you've been, you know, empty nester, I guess. The one struggle I have, because I'm so, I mean, even after what, 5 years and, you know, stuff like that, I still have a struggle with proportion wise cooking for just
Mhm.
Chris and I.
For two.
And I also remarried, you know, Chris and I, he's a meat and potatoes man. I'm like, dude, we got to eat some veggies. Like, what in the world? And, you know, I'll be turning into a potato myself if that's all we're eating. And that won't be hard to do. But what are some of your favorite things, or what do you like, or and especially moving to a whole different area of the country culturally? You know, housing's probably a whole lot better. And food wise, what do you like cooking for you and your husband?
Well, my husband, it's just the opposite for us. My husband is a fisherman and he loves fish. I mean, not professionally, he would love to think he is, but he likes fishing, you know.
Yeah.
So he'll go out and catch a fish and that's what we're having for dinner. But
Okay.
I am the meat and potatoes girl. I love
Okay.
all the things. So
Yeah.
we, you know, it's kind of eclectic in here. We do a lot of juicing and we're pretty active, which is good.
Yes.
Keep-
Yes.
But we've always had an open door policy. So once the kids were gone, we've found reasons to have community in our house. Like
Okay.
our opinion is our house doesn't just belong to us, belongs to whoever, you know, happens to be in front of us at the time. We're constantly cooking, constantly bringing in like the next generation of people. You
Well,
know,
you're
we're
also part of a church, right?
part of the church. Yeah. So college
So is
ministry.
that part of your community as well?
Yeah,
Yes.
small groups, you know, and just neighbors in general. I
Yeah.
wish I could show it to you. It was my 60th birthday 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And he built me this beautiful, on the side of the house, this beautiful swing sets. There's 2 4 4 swings
Yeah.
and a fire pit in the center. And it's a community garden. So next year we want to put some, vegetable gardens in there and have the community come and do gardening, eat out of the garden and all the things, just.
That's amazing.
So to answer your question, there's never leftovers in here. There's always somebody willing to eat what we got. So
Well, it's one of the things I enjoy with two of my kids being somewhat close by, especially when it comes to baked
Yeah.
stuff that I do. I'm like, there's no way Chris and I are going to eat 18 muffins. Like, what am I going to do? So I'll either take them to a neighbor, but we just moved into even though I've been here for a couple of years, sometimes this neighborhood is well established and they moved in when their kids were very young. And so all of them know each other. It's very hard to move, I find, to move into a neighborhood and you're the newbie. It's like, how do you incorporate yourself? Well, the whole point being is all of my leftover stuff, if I do, like Lisa's here with me, but she lives like 45 minutes, an hour away. So I'm like, take some of this soup home with you, But
Yeah.
but no, you're right. It's one of the things I miss is not having
community.
or community.
Yeah.
Because my kids are starting to get into that different season of life in the sense that their kids are getting older. Jackson's in soccer over the weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're going to come down here all the time from Battleground. It's like, now I have to switch my thinking. It's like, I'll have to go up there more often. So anyway.
Yeah, it takes time to build community. I know that it's difficult. And
Especially when you go to a new church as well.
yeah, and we've really been blessed. But again, I've felt a lot, the same things that you feel. And food does bring people together. Food feeds the body like a good word feeds the soul.
Yeah.
And so, you just wait on God's goodness and it'll come. But it is kind of lonely sometimes, when you don't have your people right there that you've had your whole life and your kids are gone. And yeah, it's all new.
And I think and depending on your community, I think the thing that I feel too is being divorced, especially some, cook that first. I want that to brown a little bit and then put it back in there and then we'll add the carrots because I want, and then once we do the carrots, the onions, and then the carrots, we'll throw the green pepper in and the celery. Continue to cook this. So this is really a one pot thing. Yeah. But I wanted those to be brown and not have the water content from the veggies. Got it. So anyway, I am trying to follow my directions, Lauren and Danielle. So I got my meat cooking because some people may or may not, I don't know. But I like to have certain things cooked before I combine them all together. It's like when I make cookies. Some cookies you don't have to like toast your nuts, but I think toasting your nuts brings a little element like chocolate chip cookies or I don't know, I can't even think of another cookie, or when I make those 7-layer bars or something like that. I just like the nuts cooked just a little bit to cook some of their oils off, but it brings out more of this rustic roasted taste to it. I like. Anyway. Lauren, do you have any other kids besides Danielle?
Nope, she's our only one.
Lucky you, Danielle. Good job. Yeah, Lisa's an only child too and everything. So don't get too big for your britches, okay, Danielle?
Yeah, she's great.
I'm just kidding.
And my husband and I are both only children as well, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, you know what? It's if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Lauren?
I'll be 40 in April.
You youngin', you are a youngin'. But good for you. Because my father, he only has one sibling who is still living, my Aunt Joan, because my dad is 93 and a half. But I just thought that was a little odd in that time period to only have 2 kids, because usually they had like 4 or 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Or whatever like that. And all of my kids, besides this year, pretty much, I was the only one that had all of her kids married. My kids were having kids. So I made my parents, great grandparents, And so it's just, it's really kind of odd, even within siblings, how different when you have kids, they are. I mean, I don't even know if my niece will ever get married or if he'll make up his mind and my other one. But anyway, Danielle, what do you like to do?
I love to play soccer.
Do you?
Ooh,
Awesome.
soccer mom. right
Do you
here.
play? Do you play on a competitive team or just rec still or?
So I play on JV for my school,
Okay.
Nice.
and then I also play on a travel team.
Oh, wow. Okay, good for you. Good for you. Well, we're definitely soccer out here, or at least my family. Okay, Lauren and or Danielle, one of your questions was during your trip to Italy, what was your favorite spot? I've been to Italy before. To me, it's more of a highlighted trip before. I think anytime I've traveled overseas, it's been the highlight because, who has a month to be anywhere? So I've been to Rome, I've been to Venice, I've been to Florence, maybe one other place. This time when I went with Chris, we were with a bunch of people, but I had an opportunity to go more in Tuscany and Tuscany area. So we went to Cortona and Chianti. So if you picture Florence here, Cortona's here, Chianti's here, maybe about an hour or so south of Florence. I really like those. Cortona was really awesome, wonderful. I had forgotten how touristy and how crowded Florence was, or at least now. I was like, oh boy, this is, you really got to know what you're doing. And if you ever do travel overseas, especially pandemic has changed everything, but I also think more people in our world and more people are traveling. I was so glad that I made reservations, but I loved Cortona. The other thing I loved about Italy, just to highlight, their wine. I mean, come on. Here in the States, I believe we add sulfates, or it has sulfates in our wine. And that's why I don't really drink wine anymore, because it's like, I got to drink a glass of water before I have a glass of wine. I got to drink another glass of water because 2 glasses, 3 glasses, the next morning, I'm like, why in God's earth do I have this headache? And so I got so tired of that. But over there, I was like, man, this wine is so smooth and it's got some body, or the lightness of it. And it didn't have that zing afterwards. I know, Danielle, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe later. But I also wondered, when we import Italian wine, do they have to put those, or are they required, or how does that work?
That's a
So
good question.
yeah,
Really?
it is. So I'm interested to kind of know that. And then I struggled with al dente, with the pasta. Because you're doing other things. And then you're like, oh, the pasta probably has a few more minutes to go. You're cooking whatever you're putting with the pasta. And then I taste the pasta and I'm like, okay, this is probably a little too far gone, but it's not mush. But al dente pasta over there, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Every time I had pasta there, I'm like, okay, let's focus. Let your pasta be pretty much the last thing you cook so that you can focus on it and really create it. Years ago, I'm just a self-taught cook. Half the time, I don't even know what I'm doing. I just know it works. Pasta water, adding a little bit of pasta water to your sauces creates another richness and body and flavor, and sometimes it can help thicken it because some of the starch from the pasta. But I tell you, al dente, ooh. So Cortona was my favorite spot. Oh yeah, carrots and onions, yes. Lisa is browning the kielbasa. Oh, this is what, sorry, I'll finish the question there.
Yeah, I have a question for you about the browning. So I took the meat out and I noticed that your recipe said put in olive oil. And I've never cooked kielbasa before, but there seemed like there was a lot of oil in the pan.
I know. See, sometimes it depends on the sausage and the kielbasa that you use. Sometimes I find some are drier than others.
Okay.
So this is one of those, I need to tweak my recipe.
But there's not very much oil in the
No.
pan, so I'm just browning then the onion and the.
Carrots
Carrot.
within the oil
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're right, Cynthia, I have to tweak that. Normally, I won't put oil when I do sausage or like kielbasa,
Okay.
but I may just use just a little bit because depending on the pan,
It needed a little bit.
I don't want the stuff to stick to it because it takes a moment for the fat from the kielbasa to release and
Yeah.
prevent it. So I may just lightly drizzle it, but I will tweak that recipe, but it's a very good point.
But it worked in this case.
I bought 6 of these. These are not very big.
I got it, they were like looped.
Yes.
I got 2 of them and they were
Yeah.
looped. I've never even cooked it before, so.
But this I got from my meat market.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a little different than what you get at your grocery store in the
Yeah.
packages. Usually they're a little bit longer.
Yes.
So, where's my recipe?
Pounds.
You know what? I'm gonna change that pound thing. I don't have a scale here. I just estimated.
Just say about.
So I'm gonna say either, yeah, a pound. I think those packages are about a pound.
The circular
Yeah.
ones. Are-
So I would definitely use 2 of those, but see, these are this, this isn't very big, so I use 4 of these.
Yeah.
I bought
Okay.
6, but I used 4 of them because, people, if you're gonna have meat in the thing, people want like a meat in every bite almost.
Yeah.
Not every other or something like that. Let me see that. I think that's enough. I think that's enough kielbasa. I don't know. So what do you like to cook for your family, Lauren and Danielle, besides chili? If she is into soccer, do you guys eat out a lot? Do you bring food in? Or do you have Sunday meals together? Like, what else
Yeah.
besides chili?
Well, I do a lot of make ahead stuff. So like stuff in the crock pot, anything that I can like prepare during the day. I work from home, so it's easy for me to just like get up and prep something so it's done for after her game or
Good for
practice.
you, yeah.
Yeah, I try to do that anyway. But for a while she was actually cooking us dinner on Sunday nights herself, but she hasn't done that just because we've been so busy.
Yeah.
Come back into that.
Amy learned to cook though. She used to
Yep.
make about your age
Oh, yeah. 14. I used to make dinner meals almost every night.
because her mom works.
Yeah.
So that was very cool.
And my dad was tired of cooking or eating dinner at 9 o'clock at night. By the time my mom got home and this is not,
So what
I
is-
hate the pedestal,
Yeah, more. than-
pistol or whatever you call it.
But just last week I made, speaking of soups, I made a chicken noodle soup in the crock pot and I had never made chicken noodle soup ever from scratch.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it came out so good. I used chicken thighs,
Oh,
Like-
yes.
They have more.
skinless chicken thighs, and I just threw them in with the
Now,
vegetable.
did you have it with skin on it or,
No, it was skinless.
yeah,
The
skinless,
boneless-
boneless or just skinless?
Skinless and boneless. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So-
and chicken thighs have so much flavor. But
She loves
everyone
chicken.
loves the white meat.
Yep.
You
Delicious.
know? So yeah, I'm gonna make my own chicken noodle soup and just, have that recipe out there. And like I said, it's not complicated. I mean, do you add the veggies like the onions, the carrots, or what did you put in it?
Onions, carrots, celery, seasonings. I didn't have a bay leaf. I got bay leaves for the soup, so I have that. Because the recipe that I was following called for a bay leaf. Yeah, and then I just let that cook all day with the chicken broth, and then like maybe half an hour, not even 15 minutes beforehand, I put in the egg noodles. I use like the fluffy egg noodles.
Yeah.
Came out so good. She's like, oh, we have to make this again. I'm like, yeah, we will. There'll be plenty of time in the winter to make it again.
There's just something about chicken broth. I
Yeah.
mean, our moms were right. When I got sick, Campbell's chicken noodle soup, very basic, very simple, just the noodles pretty much, and you had little pieces of chicken in it. But
Mhm.
man, it was something about that broth that was so good, so comforting. Cynthia, right now, I'm using fennel seeds, which
I don't know, I couldn't find any other, I don't do very well in the pedestal thing here. It doesn't crush it up enough for me. So I am just gently using a knife to try and mash them up. Because fennel, that's part of sausage, is so good. It has a little licorice taste to it. Or smell to it, I should say. And I sometimes think that goes well with cabbage.
And fennel tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what we put in for chicken soup too? My husband's from the Caribbean and they call them dumplings.
Oh, yeah.
But you just take flour and water and put a little bit of salt in and you mix it and make a dough.
Mhm.
And you make these little, they call them spinners, dumplings. And so then you take them and you make kind of a little tube, not tube, but a little finger-like dumpling. And you
Cylinder, rectangle.
yeah, and you throw it in the soup and let those cook up.
Oh, yeah.
And they're really good.
Oh,
They
wow.
soak up
Now,
the.
wouldn't you put baking powder in there so they puff up a little bit?
Because I think that would make it maybe bitter. I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's just flour and water and some
Wow.
salt. And it soaks up the broth. So they have that flavor.
So
now.
no noodles, just the dumpling.
Yeah, spinners or dumplings.
Look at that. I might have to do a variation of
We
that.
should, that should be the next soup.
Yeah.
Okay, and fresh thyme. Use fresh thyme.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I mashed up my fennel with a knife because the pedestal does not work for me, but I have more than what I need.
Yeah. it's a lot.
So I am just going to just do a little bit. Because it only says about a half a teaspoon.
Want me to throw it in the pot?
No, are we done with it? Can you check with that,
Mhm.
the
Do you want
carrots?
it off?
Well, are they browning or?
Yeah. they're
Okay, then
brown.
they're done. Oh, I forgot to cut up the garlic.
And it smells really good because it's cooked in that sausage
Sauce?
sauce, the
Yeah.
oil, and then again, it wasn't very much, so they're not greasy, but.
Well, that's another thing I love about soup. Sometimes it's a one pot and you're just layering all the flavors as you cook your very basic, most soups have it, your onions, your celery, your carrots, or you cook your meat first, then you saute your vegetables in the juices from whatever meat you did. So we did it here with the kielbasa. And like I said, I grew up in the neighborhood and a community in an area that, you know, we had a high population of the Polish community. And to this day, Detroit is second population of Polish. Polish.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what word to use.
Sorry, just from, do you want this off the stove
Here,
or?
we'll turn it down. Well, here, let me get going with this. Okay, what do my directions say after we do all this? Oh, I forgot the flour. Now you do not need to add flour if you don't want to incorporate just a hint, a little thickness to your soup. Forget it. Forget the flour then. Flour is not a necessity in this one. I just thought flour would help build some body and a little bit of thickness in the soup base. But it won't, you know, make it creamy or anything like that because I'm not adding milk and all this. Oh my dear, I got sugar.
Ooh, good thing we caught that. This is Amy's kitchen, you know,
You could use, am I muted? No.
cornstarch.
Can you use arrowroot? Like if you're worried about gluten-free?
I think so. I think so. I've never cooked or used arrowroot, but I think from some of these other recipes that I have read, I think that is a substitute for flour. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna,
Wait a minute, just throw some in there. One,
that's about it.
two handfuls.
Well, no, a big, huge, 2 big pinches, but I put 2 tablespoons in there.
Okay.
And she's just gonna stir that around a little bit to cook out the flour taste. And then what do I do? So veggie cooked around, add the chicken broth. All right. You guys, one thing that I might change in this recipe, I'm not sure why I added 8 cups. That seems like a lot to me. So I'm gonna start off with 6. Sometimes when you add your cabbage will soak up
Yeah.
some of that broth. So I'm gonna put in the recipe 6 to 8 cups, because you might add a little bit more depending on how much stuff that you have in your soup. Maybe it's too thick with stuff, meaning cabbage and beans and tomatoes and all of that other stuff.
Be careful, you have something behind you.
Yeah. So anyway,
Okay, so.
do you think it's
Yes. it's
cooked out?
ready.
Okay, we are going to add a little bit of tomato paste to it.
Okay.
And tomato paste will really kind of help,
Yeah. we need the-
not much, because we got a lot of broth. The amount of tomato paste that's in here isn't a lot. But I like tomato paste because it has a really rich tomato flavor, but I didn't want beef broth or tomato sauce in this because that's just not the kind of soup I wanted. But if someone wanted to use beef,
Let's throw the broth in. It's
yes,
pretty dry.
where's my measure? Oh, here it is.
So you just got regular, unsalted chicken broth.
Well, this just happens to be.
Yeah. Okay. And it's getting all those brown gooey off the bottom of the.
Oh, all the
pan.
rich goodness that stuck to the pan.
Mhm.
Usually a carton like this, if you all know, it usually has 4 cups in it.
Yeah, you definitely need.
You think?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, by time I.
yeah,
Oh, she's saying for sure, Amy, you're gonna need 8 cups.
for sure.
Okay, you guys, I'm scared. I took Lisa's advice. We're doing 8 cups.
So we're putting cabbage in it.
Yeah, that's true. But we're gonna add all of these other ingredients in. I love fire roasted tomatoes because it just has a little extra flavor than just plain regular, tomatoes, cans of tomatoes.
So you're gonna laugh. I didn't use fire roasted, I don't think. I used the dried Italian.
Oh, yeah, dried tomatoes.
Is that okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, that okay. The only thing you might have to account for though with that, make sure you cook your soup long enough, just on simmer, so that the tomatoes have a chance to kind of like rehydrate and become soft instead of still having that chewiness to it when you have, it's dried tomatoes, right? Dried tomatoes, yeah. And because dried tomatoes they're really rich in flavor, they're really good. But instead of being too chewy, you simmer the soup just a little bit longer to kind of, soften that up. Okay.
And the juice, you put the juice.
Oh, yeah, I put the juice, well, you have to, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you don't have to, but I should have had these bean cans opened already, but
Sweet things a little bit.
yeah, we can.
I'll let you do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and drain my beans. I forgot.
Did you put the meat back in there?
Not yet.
Not
Oh.
yet.
I'm adding all my stuff. The meat will go in as well. Okay,
Like this.
no, I'm a big fan. Because you never see it on the cooking shows a lot. When I'm baking, I scrape my beater off. I mean, there's a lot of stuff stuck to the beater or the bowl. I mean, I make sure all of it is in the cake pans or the muffin pans. And it goes with the same thing when you use a can. It's like, see, there's nothing in it. No bean, because that's like good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna do another thing of beans. And like you, a crock pot is easy. You just combine everything in there.
I think I used the wrong beans too. So I spent an hour yesterday peeling these dang white lima beans.
Oh my gosh, you didn't find white beans in a can?
Well, I didn't look for the can. I
Oh,
just bought a bag of white beans. They were white lima beans. I had to soak them and then I had to peel them.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, I said 2 cans of white beans. Okay, I was thinking maybe I said something.
They'll work. They're the same.
It will work, but if they're hard beans, you really needed to soak them overnight.
Yeah, I
Or
cooked
She did.
yesterday.
Oh, okay, great. Then they'll work perfect. Perfect. I just say cans of beans because it's just easier. No, you did fine.
I don't know if you can see the little visitor here.
I can see him. I see you. I got one right here.
I'm not touching
Oh.
her.
Come here, Coaster. Come here, Bubby. Come here.
What kind of dog do you have?
He's a golden doodle. This is
Oh,
my.
Oh,
cute.
yeah.
Sorry, I hit you with the spoon.
You know you're not supposed to be in here. Okay.
Oh, whoa, we're getting up there.
Okay, do you want to add the kielbasa to it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
gonna
wow.
add in some of these seasonings. I didn't put it on there, but since we have kielbasa, it's up to you. I might add like maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika besides the paprika that I have here. Well, I put 1 tablespoon. That seems like a lot.
We're getting
just
close to the
paprika.
top.
Well, I know, because you wanted 8 cups.
No,
So good.
I'm gonna have to take some out. What do you think?
No, I'll deal with it. Okay, white beans. You put the kielbasa in, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna add the seasonings. Oh, I forgot the garlic. You guys, we forgot the garlic. The garlic should really have been sauteed with the veggies.
Oh, no.
So my boo-boo. That's why I tell people to,
It's just having fun in the kitchen.
well, that's why I tell people to follow the recipe, because look at this, I forgot. But you need garlic.
This looks so good. So good.
It smells.
Is it good so far?
The juice tastes amazing and it looks really pretty.
Oh, good. Well,
Pot is very full.
yeah, mine is
Yeah.
too. That's why I say start with 6 and then add.
Sorry.
See, I get influenced all the time. See, Danielle? Be confident in what you know. Because I should have only went with 6 because you can always add stuff later. We should have sauteed this, but, Anyway, I'm winging it here now with adding the garlic there. Okay, what's another?
Oh, we can go and move that.
What is another? No, I'll do it.
Okay.
What is another? Where's my thing? Okay, right here. Oh my goodness, Cynthia, you've asked me a hard question. What wine would you pair with this dish?
Yeah.
Mm.
I will go with what a lot of other chefs have recently been saying in the last number of years. Go with a wine that you like best.
Good
Usually- Seriously. Since this is chicken broth, I would probably go with a heartier white wine. Pinot Gris would go well, but maybe a good Chardonnay would go good with this wine.
But you have tomato in there too.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
But you do have tomato, but there's a lot of pasta with tomato and stuff.
Yeah.
But this isn't like a beef tomato based broth. So if you want a red wine, I would go with whatever you consider whatever you would, not me, whatever you would consider a light wine, like a Pinot Noir or even a Chianti. That's a basic, wine. A Chianti or a lighter red. If I have a hearty or rosé, yep.
Rosé would be good.
If I have a heartier soup, and especially with beef broth, I would definitely go with Cabernet Sauvignon, a Melback, or even a Syrah, or anything with beef, stuff like that. Something that's a little more heartier. But this, I think a good Chardonnay would go well. Possibly a rosé or a Pinot Noir.
Okay.
Paprika,
What did you put in before?
smoked.
Oh, okay.
I didn't add, I'm adding that, I'm making that little adjustment because with Kielbasa, I thought with just a half a teaspoon, maybe a smoke, would just give it enough without
Mhm.
overpowering it.
Yeah.
How much? Yeah, so I added 1 tablespoon. I don't know why that says 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon. Once I modify this recipe, I will resend it to you guys. So do we have everything?
I think.
You got the
You
bay
got-
leaf, right?
Yeah. You got the garlic.
Oh, the cabbage. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. So how are we gonna do this? We did almost overflow,
Here.
so.
No, we didn't overflow. Perfect. Man, I almost want another kielbasa.
How much extra did you put in there? How much extra paprika or?
I just put in like a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I didn't have that in the recipe. You don't have to add that. But I thought with kielbasa, just having a hint of that little smoke flavor may not even make any difference with just a half a teaspoon. But I didn't want,
You had 1
over-
tablespoon regular,
and then
right?
I added 1 tablespoon of paprika. Now, in the recipe here, I will go 6 to 8 cups of chicken broth.
Mhm.
I think I should have backed off and just
It
added
was my
6,
fault.
incorporated in it, everything, wait till the cabbage cooks down, and then see if I need any more broth. Now, me personally, because I say 2 to 3 cans of white beans, because of the amount of, other ingredients, I probably would have added 1 more can of white beans, but it does make a lot of soup. So what I'll probably put on this one, this is definitely will feed a family of 4 to 6,
Mhm.
depending if they have more than 1 bowl. And then,
Yeah.
I probably would have cooked up all of my kielbasa, because these aren't that big. Like the ones at the store are
Are
probably
already-
another third longer than this one. So I probably would have cooked all of these up. Okay, where's that? Okay, this one. I gotta add this one. Okay, we started. Okay, good. I'm on time. Sometimes I go way over because I just talk too much.
I'm taking notes too, so we can add that. This is a DIY. We do everything ourselves.
Yeah, knowing Chris, he probably would like a little more meat, so after this is done, I'll probably saute these up and just add it into the soup. So I think we just let this sit for a moment.
Mhm.
Where's my lid? Did I not get it out?
I didn't. She loves the Le Creuset.
I know, I
Beautiful.
love
I
it.
love this color too. She bought me one for a gift. It was so nice. I love it. You can even bake bread in those.
You can.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Well, Chris, Lisa does so much. I mean, I might be in the front and center of life, but Daisy. No. Sorry. I don't know what she was getting herself into in the couch.
She's bearing it.
She does so much for me behind the scenes and stuff, so I usually like to just, buy certain things that she would like, just to say thank you and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
bought you a big pot, right?
Just like this one.
Was it? I think it's a little bigger.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah, because this is a brazier, that's a pot.
Okay.
And
Well-
I said, well, if you could, what would you want? And you
Yeah,
picked
that.
one of them. No, it's probably,
The next size. up.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's that color. I love that
Yeah.
color.
the white
The
color.
wine.
Um,
Of gifts, I saw that you have new gifts coming out, your recipe holder,
oh,
and
let me show you. Let me
Oh.
show you that.
I just saw that email come through.
It's a cutting board and recipe stand.
Yeah. Brilliant.
She's working on a hardback cookbook. We're trying to get it out for Oh, good thing it didn't hit me or you.
What we're doing in the cookbook is all the recipes that I put online, you know, through Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, because so many, I prefer a cookbook. I prefer something that I can read and just flip the page and, you know, stuff like that.
It's our
But-
general.
Yes. But a lot of, you know, people wanted digital and everything. And so that's why all of the recipes are only on there. But we thought about taking all of those recipes and combining it and putting it in a cookbook. So yes, you won't have equal number of appetizers to sides to entrees to dessert, but it'll be all of the recipes that I've done online. So it'll be both volumes of the electronic version of it. But this is the
Yeah, look at that. So
this
cool.
is it,
Look
and
at
it's
how cool
hearty,
that
it's heavy. You know, I mean, it's not like wimpy. So if you have a big cookbook,
Right.
it will hold it. You know, you don't have to be afraid that it will tip over. In fact,
It looks like it's got a little cutout on the top too. It's got like a
yeah,
little.
see, it'll hold that like that. In fact, this cookbook is by Danielle Hartis. I had so many cookbooks. I still have some in my rack in my garage because I like looking at cookbooks. They give me ideas or versions of it. But see, it'll stand up, it'll hold open the book. Or if you want to put your iPad or something on there, just swipe it. So.
And I like that it's a sustainable wood or sustainable resourced, right? Yeah.
Is this local or is this
Yeah.
someone from another state?
No, it's from Oregon.
Yeah, so this is local. Someone from Oregon makes these and I'm a fan of that.
It was fallen wood that's, they repurposed it. It was already.
So if you want, you could, you know, use this as a cutting board. But anyway, yeah, that's something new we're putting out.
I
And
love it.
I
Yeah,
don't,
we're taking pre-orders.
I don't think that will fit in there
No,
without
I think
it.
your iPad might go.
Yes, your iPad will, because you could go this way. Yeah, I think your iPad will.
Yeah. And then it'll have Amy Rolf's Little Kitchen on the front of it.
So even though you took the one part out, I think your iPad will fit in here. And you can still use the other part as a as a cutting board. Anyway.
Very cool.
Herb things on.
But, and like a lot of people ask me about our fudge, we have our fudge version out there, but, I don't make the fudge personally, but we do work with someone, again, locally here, because she's in a commercial kitchen. She owns her own restaurant here in the Portland area. Cheryl's on 12. So, you know, I try and be very upfront with people. I may come up with the idea or the recipe, or I work with someone, but I can't sell it to you. I got a dog in my kitchen. I can't make all of this fudge and, you know, do it for y'all. I think my producers in my network would say, excuse me, but are you available to film? So anyway.
How
Okay.
fun.
Tell me a little bit. Oh, do I organize my spice cabinet? Question from you, Cynthia. There are certain things that I do organize and there's a lot that I do not. In fact, I got to re-clean out my pantry. In fact, not only do I have Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen aprons, I probably have 20 different kinds of aprons in there. To me, aprons are a fun accessory. And I always tell people because I'm shorter, like, look at, this is a tabletop island. Lisa's sitting down on a stool. Or even if I'm at the counter, at the stove and everything, I'm always like, because the food is like right here. So I need an apron. But I also pick out an apron. Oh, what mood am I in today? Oh, I'll pick one that has flowers on it, or I'll pick one that has something else on it, or I'll pick one that's seasonal. Anyway, I love my aprons. We tried to get a local person to make aprons, but I think they weren't able to produce them as quick, you know, when it's
Yeah.
all done by an individual.
Yeah.
And because I would really love like a homemade apron that's got some style to it. But yeah.
But these are fun. So
No, these are
we do
good.
fall, these are out
These are
right
good.
now with the fall logo, and then we have holiday ones coming.
So you're each getting one.
Yeah, you're each getting one.
Yes,
each.
you're each getting an apron. So do I organize my spice cabinets? I do, because I have all my baking spices on one thing, and they're usually like cinnamon, ginger, or cinnamon, cloves, or allspice, nutmeg. I really like using the nutmeg, not the ground nutmeg. I really like being able to use my grater, planer, or whatever you call it. So I have baking on one side, and then I kind of do them alphabetically, or on more of the savory. Like I'll start off with chives, coriander, or no, chili powder, coriander, cumin. I'll go like that. Paprika, all my paprikas, are right here, and then my Italian seasonings, thyme, oregano, basil, things like that. So my spice rack is a little bit organized. I finally got little drawers, because I love my pantry, but it's a little deep for me. I gotta stick my head underneath the shelves for my arm to reach the back. So I finally got these little container things to put in, all my canned stuff, my beans. So I have all my beans, white beans, garbanzo beans, black beans, pinto beans. Then I have all my tomato sauces, and then whole tomatoes.
That's
So
cool. She does.
yeah, don't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
And all your flour, sugar,
Yeah.
all in those containers and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then all
She
that
does a
baking
good
stuff.
job with that.
And then, my cereals, this and that, because I don't want to have to do too much work especially when I wing it a lot. I'm spontaneous when I cook. So I don't know, for the most part, the one thing I really got to get rid of, I don't entertain like I used to. When I lived at the farmhouse, I would have 20 people, 30 people over my house. So I would have all these little fancy, serving
Servings.
trays, and,
Yeah.
and all these different kind of bowls, and, things like that. So.
And you
yeah.
like to collect things too.
I do. I'll show you my newest one.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I have plenty of measuring, like
She
1
does.
cup, 2 cups. But I tell you, I love these. I just love the copper. They got a little wooden handle on it.
Yeah,
I just like it. I got
Yeah.
these from, of all places, because she's great, Magnolia, on their website. I got these from them.
Those are cool. Let me see.
And but I just like fun accessories.
Mhm.
Like the
Look,
Like-
I've got these right here. Same thing. Ta-da!
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. she's
Yes.
got cute ones,
Yeah,
too.
see? And I like them with the little handle on it now,
Yeah.
but I didn't want the little silver ones that, you get from whatever store. And look at this spatula. Okay, Danielle, is that not cute? This little, not a
Cute.
spatula, but
That's so cute, yeah.
I mean, is that just not cute? I love it.
Yeah.
So.
And then she has these little measuring.
But you know
cups.
what? I got these from, I'm so disappointed because I
Yeah.
dropped one. It looks like this one cracked.
But these are cute. They're
No, I got these from an antique store.
How cute is
These are
that?
vintage.
biscuit.
Yeah, but I love it because it had the little handle on it.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Oh, boiling over.
don't panic.
Danielle, do you cook a lot?
I used to cook every Sunday, but we've just been really busy because I have soccer games on Sunday. So
Well, it's a
during
great.
the pandemic, she was cooking a lot on Sundays. Yeah, we gotta get back into that.
It's a good skill to have, and it'll come in handy one day. Trust me.
Oh, it really will. And usually I remember those soccer days. Fall was a very busy time. It's like the holiday just came and went and we're a whirlwind. And then it can kind of slow down, especially in New York and where you guys kind of live. It gets that colder, wintry months.
Yeah.
One thing I wish I would have done during the pandemic was cooked a lot more bread. I would have had a lot more time to do the yeast, and because yeast intimidates me. I read somewhere, 'cause I don't know, my house must be cold. It's a big house. I call my house, it's on steroids, meaning the bedrooms are oversized. they're not your typical bedroom size. They're like oversized. So I live in a, I don't know, 3,500 square foot home or something like that. But, you know, we have a little kitchenette, you know, this little kitchen I'm in, we got a great room, sitting area there, the dining room. Then we have like a little office room off the front door. And then when you go up the stairs, a little loft area. It used to be 5 bedrooms, but it's only 4. They turned one of the bedrooms into the closet for the master.
Yeah.
I have a whole bedroom that's
A
my closet.
giant closet, giant.
No, it's horrible. I should get rid of half those clothes, man.
No, yeah, she filled it up. that's
So
for
what
sure.
was the point of all that? What was the
Mhm.
point? Where was I going with that?
We were telling Danielle that she needs to learn how to cook. It'll come in handy.
Oh,
I know, but what did that have to do with my home? I had a thought. Oh
We're
dear.
talking about yeast in the bread and.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good thinking. So, you know, maybe because I live in a big house, it's like drafty, it never got cold. So I read somewhere where you can you know, let your dough rise at the minimum oven thing, like turn it up to 170. Let that get up to 170, turn it off, let your door open, but put your bread in there. Oh my God, game changer for me, because I'm like, now I know what they mean. It's like, let your dough rise. Because I'm like, this rose a little bit, but this doesn't seem like much, you know?
Okay.
And so that was a game changer for me. Some other people can just do it in their house, put it right next to their stove or, you know, on the counter here or whatever. But for me, that oven thing was a game changer for me. So I wish I would have taken advantage of pandemic. So anyway. Well, you guys,
Okay.
should we taste? I mean,
yes.
it's probably a little done. It probably should cook a little bit more. The cabbage get a little softer, but we can share a bowl if you want.
I would love that.
Okay.
I would love that. And Cynthia, how's yours going? Do you think you're just about done?
It's good. You want to take a peek? I
Yeah.
brought it. There. Boom.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really red, I think, because I put those tomatoes in there.
Oh, we
Yes,
could have
yeah.
been, yes. Here, I'll show you mine.
Oh, that's hot.
Oh, sure it is. Careful.
I'm always worried. She always takes chances.
She's worried and I'm like,
I don't want
okay,
it
how
to
long have I been cooking in my
Really
kitchen?
burn her.
She's your person. She's supposed to take care of you.
Yeah.
That's true.
We've been friends for about, what, 2008,
Yeah, 12 years.
14.
Oh, yeah, 2008 is 22.
Yeah,
Yeah,
14.
yeah.
So
Time.
I
Yeah.
can't really tip this. Oh my gosh.
Here.
Yeah.
I can't really tip this
No, I don't.
because
know.
it's gonna go all over the place.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna ladle this though.
Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I'm gonna get a bowl.
But you know, I would serve this with a really a good bread. You know, if you like making bread, great. A good French bread, a good Italian bread, something crusty and hearty. How about this? But I think it looks good.
Delicious.
I mean, it's got
Oh, yeah.
everything. Get a little bit broth.
Really good.
See, once I take a bowl out of it, I can add a little more broth. Because obviously. But I will make some notes to this because I didn't think this cabbage was that big, but maybe. I only used half of this. So I sliced it in half and used half of it. I
Mhm.
probably should have cooked this a little bit longer, but because of time, you know, I'm not. But if you have a smaller cabbage than this, half a cabbage would definitely be it. But I always say, you know, more or less. I mean, it really depends on what you do. The little bit of flour, it's not like it really thickened it up, but I think it gives it a little bit more of a base. If you want a little bit thicker broth, add just a little bit more flour into it. But I would probably go ahead and have added the rest of my kielbasa. So I'm gonna say maybe 2.5 pounds of kielbasa, because you know, when you're feeding a guy, they like the meat. I like the meat. So anyway. But, and I'd probably go ahead and add that third thing of beans. But cut the recipe in half, like for the three of you. You probably could cut this recipe in half and just have that meal for this meal. If you
Yeah.
make a full pot,
A fork
then
or
you
a
have
spoon? Nate?
leftovers. Pardon?
A fork or a spoon?
A fork or a spoon. Well, I'd use a spoon, but. Lisa and I are gonna give this a try.
Can't wait.
So good. It's so good.
I was looking at it and I thought, man, I want some more, but kielbasa has enough flavor in it as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have to wear glasses because even though I can see you all, now I can really see you.
It's really good. You guys have to
Alright.
just watch us eat for a second.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, but everyone always wants me to taste my food.
yeah, we have to end results.
That's my favorite part of your show. I can tell if it's a good recipe. Because
Yeah.
if you get 2 hand circles, it's really good. If you just get a half a hand circle or a quarter of a circle, it's like, I would probably, and then you start talking about how you're gonna change it.
Yeah.
Yes. Meaning it's still good, but I just wanna.
Yeah, but when you go,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really good.
yeah. Well, sometimes it's interesting you say that, because sometimes what I'm doing too is like I'm trying to feel it. Like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I came up with this. Do I feel what my mind was
Yeah.
expecting it to be?
Very good.
Totally get it.
Mm.
Now, with this too, vegetable broth would have been fine too, if people don't want to do chicken broth, and they can always substitute another meat or just make this vegetable really if they don't want to do kielbasa.
So good.
One thing I forgot to add to this. See, it's funny. When you're not making it, how you forget certain things, I would add a little salt and pepper, because
Well,
we didn't do it.
but the kielbasa could have had
Mhm.
enough salt in there, so I think it's great. She's
And-
her own worst critic, aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Yeah.
So good,
It's
honestly.
delicious.
And I like the kielbasa when you cook it ahead of time, because not that it has a bacon flavor, but I also just
does.
adding that little bit of hint of smoked paprika gives it more of that. I don't know, I always say rustic, but more of that,
Hearty.
yeah, heartier, just that little extra flavor. Anyway,
My
Very-
husband love this.
oh, good, good. And a lot of times soups are just different variations. You could add hamburger to this and it changes it. You could add chicken to this and it changes it,
Yeah,
because,
chicken would be good too.
the meat changes it.
Yeah.
So anytime I serve soup, he's like, okay, that's really good, but where's dinner?
Mm.
And that's why, to me, if you're making soup your meal, I like stuff in it.
Yeah.
Where if soup is complementing your entree, then you can back off on all the stuff, because you don't want everyone filling up on soup and you just made a roast and no one wants to eat it because they're so full, or you serve it in smaller bowls or something. Cream soup, like split pea and ham. If that's my main thing, I really like to add ham to it, like
Yeah.
bulk it up a little bit. And, things like that. What's butternut squash? I made butternut squash soup one time, but what did I compliment? I made
You
something
put
else
some-
with
I
it.
think you put.
No, but I did like a chicken on the side, or just, I added some protein as
Did you make a meatball?
oh, maybe that's what I
You
did.
did, you made a.
You know what I may have done with the butternut squash soup? I may have made a meatball with
Mhm.
sage and
Mhm.
added it with spaghetti squash.
Yes, you did.
I think that's what I did. Anyway, we're just rambling. But hey, you guys have any other questions or any other thoughts?
Oh, we can't wait to make it now. That's
Well,
really
my question to you guys then, both of you, all of you, would be, did you enjoy just doing this?
Yeah.
Whether it's with me or whatever, did you enjoy just talking about food, each other's lives, what's going on, and, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Because I have a ball, but I never know how other people
I
are really having fun. So
Yeah.
Cynthia, how about you, or?
It felt to me like you invited us into the kitchen and
Okay.
it's like we're having a moment together, just the girls kind of hanging out and having a meal. It was really special because we got to actually exchange communication rather than just watching a video and then doing steps. This was really sweet, and I really appreciate the invitation.
Okay, okay, good, because it's sometimes when you like doing something that obviously, like anything else we do, we always want to hear that feedback, because what could I add, what could I change, or something like that. And the biggest thing is cooking with Amy. Sometimes people give me suggestions on what to cook, and Lisa and I often say that would be great, but it's a very involved recipe, and a lot of times you can't necessarily do that
And
in
visit at
2
the same
hours.
time, yeah.
Allow it to cook like a cake. You can make the cake, but there's not a lot of conversation, because you got to be
On
doing
it,
it.
you have to be
Yeah.
on your toes.
So anyway, so were you guys good with, tell me anything, but were you guys good, have a good time, Danielle and Lauren?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
loved it. I was shocked when I got the email that we were chosen. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
Well, Lisa and I don't necessarily choose, and we have someone else that does it for us, because I never want people to think that I read something and, oh, you choose that person because of whatever.
Right, sure.
But we have a lot of people that, don't we have a lot of
Apply.
people that apply?
Uh-huh.
And it's always so hard, because I like a smaller group. I could have like 20 people on this, but I wouldn't be able to get to everyone, and
Yeah.
it'd be one of those things where you're just watching me talk, which I guess that's okay, or cook, but I like to interact with people. And look at this, I got to meet you guys from New York. You were in California, now you're in North Carolina, just going through that transition in your life as an empty nester, but moving because of your kids, and you have a grandchild, and stuff like that. And so it's been really enjoyable for me. It's
Yes.
one of the things and benefits that I think I have been able to have because of the show.
Mhm.
I love meeting people. I love interacting. I love sharing, but I try and be very upfront in the sense, I love to cook, but I do not know anything. One, I
But
teach
that's so
Lisa.
endearing about you, Amy, from day
Oh,
one. I've watched you cook, you've been doing this for how long on TV now? So,
Yeah, for a
a
family,
little
yeah.
bit of entitlement, like I know her, but
Yeah.
no, but I
You
know
do.
about
Now you do.
what I know about you, and the way that you cook is just an authentic mom, just doing her thing. And the
Yeah.
relationship between you and your people, it's
Yeah.
so sweet and genuine. You're just an authentic person. And I've
Sure.
always said this, the things that you've had to overcome in your life have never kept you down. You've just always kept going. So you're so inspiring as a woman, let alone just this
Thank you.
person who's just fun to kind of just hang out with and do this. So thank you
Well,
for sharing.
that's one of the things I would tell Danielle is you yourself have to find that one element within you, especially being a sophomore, going through whatever challenges that you may go through in high school and going into college. And a lot of those challenges has to be with how you perceive yourself, how you're taking other people's perception of you. But think about you, like, what is it about you that you like? Hang on to something that, regardless what anyone else says, regardless of what anyone thinks of you, it's more important, what do you think about yourself? Because one of the, not that I ever want any of that to happen to you, Danielle, but like going through divorce or going into college and stuff like that is like, it was hard, it was challenging. Everyone goes through challenges. But to be able to come through something like that and say, yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, I could have done better, but I still like who I am. I like being with me.
Yeah, you didn't change
Be
yourself for
okay
someone
with,
else.
yeah, not changing yourself for someone else. Be okay with you. Enjoy you and the things that you like. Because I think the more people do that, and not trying to expect everyone to be like them or they like everyone else, I think, you encourage a lot of people by just liking who they are, and we can give so much more, and other people can give so much more than,
Yeah.
everything else that's going on in the world. But anyway, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you,
Thank you.
Danielle. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
I'll send you the updated tweaked recipe, but it is still good.
It's
but
delicious.
if
It's
this is going
delicious.
out to everyone else, I want to tweak it a little bit. But I hope you enjoy it. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season.
Yes, coming.
And hopefully
Well,
you guys will be back, and I'll, I'm gonna try and do this more than once a month, but
Yeah, and we'll
but
send
yeah.
you guys aprons. I
Yeah.
have your email addresses, so we'll, and your address, and we'll get those shipped out to you.
yeah.
So thanks for joining
much.
us today.
Thank you.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.